Hello and welcome back to the Oceania 7K World Cup 2024. And just something, there's something that we need to do right now. The final thing to do this weekend, and that is to showcase the finals map pool. This is Surf285 in the commentary booth, and Mifa alongside me. How are you doing?
Hello, and we are so back right now. This is, well, the penultimate round of the Mappool Showcase, I think, in particular for this tournament. Well, as you know, that most of the time, Mappool Showcase has been the most fun thing that we probably like to show you for the people and for the players as well. But I will say something a little bit about the Mappool structure in particular. So the thing about finals and also grand finals will also feature a little bit of an extra map for Rice and the for the Longnet as well. It is best of 13, so it's gonna be a first to 7 points. So more stuff to come out there once we get to the overall map pool in itself. You know, one Rice and one more LN, so more stuff there. So hopefully we got some other selections for the teams that will be playing. Well, 6 teams actually, but regardless, that's all for the map structure in itself. So I think we should be probably ready for, I guess, the first pick.
Yeah, we'll let you do the honors here.
All right, this will be our first pick for the showcase. So hopefully we get to see once we're in. Yep. So first pick here, we got Rice 1, which is our delay-ish speed pick, which is Moongate by Shiraishi. Tails made an appearance again for most of the speed picks in general. Well, as you can see, it's pretty much delay for what it is. It's very fast delay at that.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the players here, especially in the 7K scene, maybe for some of those in the 4K scene as well, should be very familiar with this particular version of Moongate. I mean, the chart itself, the chart speaks for itself.
Yeah, it's just a couple of measures of delay, and some of them are even introducing like intrusive patterns that even in of itself sometimes even force you to do double stairs, which are not double stairs.
Yeah, and basically this chart does build up very well from what we had from the semifinals, what we had for Rice 1. This is a bit more like really leaning more into the delay stream patterning, unlike what we like from what we had from the previous round. It was more of a dumpy kind of patterning. Now we're just seeing like a bit more abrasiveness, like some chords inserted into these streams as well.
Yeah, finally, once you get like to the break, it's just the only break that you'll have, and everything else is just you continue on hitting the speed patterns in general.
But yeah, like we get a short break section here, and obviously those who are very familiar with this music, here you go.
Yeah, although I would say that the cut itself is kind of abrupt because I'm pretty sure Moongate in itself has some one complete measure, but this is like a 3.25 of a measure that it be cut.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like a side effect of like the music itself being made into suitable into the delay kind of thing. For like, correct me if I'm wrong, but delay versions of these music were actually made at a time when the was it 2DX, I think. Like basically every single sound has to be key sounded, so one note is literally one sound, and so you get this delay kind of effect.
Yeah, it's, I guess it was more of key sounded with I guess most of the LR2 charts in general, which purposefully use delay sounds for most of the key sounded effect. But that is going to be our first pick here, and I'll let you take the honors for the second one.
Now, I hope I don't butcher the title here. We have Tse Chang Hao, which is going to be our dense chord stream pick, our Rice 2, and those is like, I think this should be pretty familiar for a lot of players as well. The structure here should be less similar to what we have for Rice 2 from the previous round, and more really leaning to this super hyper brackety kind of chord stream. Like, it's a bit more straightforward than what we have from last round, but I mean, you see here, like, there's a lot There's a lot to take in.
More emphasis on the heavy chords rather than bracket. I mean, the bracket in itself is already hard enough, but you introduce more of the heavy chords and double stairs in general, which might be even more odd to play.
Yeah, and this chart just keeps going on and on and on and on. Like you're given like this pretty short break section. Well, I don't even think you can treat this as a break section.
Yeah, I guess more of the chord. I mean, the chords, yeah, here and there, but then you just transfer it into more of a chord stream, which is normal. But it's more once you get to these more anchor heavy stuff, the chart starts again.
Yeah, and like I think I noticed like the chord sizes here are a bit heavier than what we saw from the first third of the chart. So this is really something for the players to take note of, because we've seen like a few players really miss out on these big chords, these big hits that is most likely going to be draining some stamina as well from your end.
Yeah, this is just all stop, non-stop, all very much. This is really, really dense for what it is. And even the chords itself are kind of introducing 7-note chords at one point.
And that's our dense chord stream pick. And now for our next pick, I'll let you be the one to introduce it.
Yeah, alright, let's just go straight into it. This is our stamina-ish core stream, but then again, I mean, we've seen quite a lot of like tinnitus for here and again, and we'll see here. What's the next one? Oh, look, it's Snow's original! What could that mean? And that is the first of the original for this map pool. Yeah, thanks, massive thank you there for Lime for having to take over with Campanella here for the faster core stream, more stamina-ish pick. I don't know what do you think of this?
Well, arguably like one of the one of the most beautiful charts in the pool. I think I remember seeing some. I actually remember seeing someone in the chat mentioning like, "Please don't ban this." Like, I'm already giving a prediction that this is possibly like one of the most favored picks for all of the 6 teams remaining in the showcase. And you saw the patterns right there. It's a bit different than what we saw from Tse Changhao. Like that one was a bit more in the brackets. This one is a bit more in the multi-stair streams. And man, I can't wait to see the team scores that will be coming out of this chart. Now, it's time for us to move on and see our core jack pick, which is Volsing Bar. I hope it didn't butcher the name again. And this is a chart by Tabatu. And again, since this is our Rise 4, this is going to be our core jack pick. Presumably we're going to be seeing this in a lot of the matches as well. Also, something the music kind of reminds me as well. Like, why does this sound like Strong 280?
This is probably the original source of the remix, actually.
Yeah, it's Strong 280, but not Strong 280.
This feels actually so weird now.
Yeah, like we're so used to hearing this at twice the speed. You already see BPM 140, like we had Strong 280 from 2022 Grand Finals. Like that was a core stream chart. Now this is more core jack chart. Also, just look, actually lots of mini jack transitions. Like the jacks are pretty spread around. Not to mention, you're also seeing some more of these long jack stacks. I think this is pretty much a very different approach to core jacking. Now we're back into these more denser sections, but like lots of places to trip up on.
Yeah, this is just the strong 280, but you cut off the one chorus, and it eventually just turns into these massive, big chords every one half of a measure.
Yeah, like this is gonna be pretty intense to see, especially the grace notes as well. Something that the teams we might see some act drops if we see a player caught lacking in a way. Yeah, like accuracy drops that come in from there, but not that this chart is hard enough. Like you see those spacebar jacks.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is also the same exact cut from like the actual category Strong 280, but this is also basically the same chart that you will see. I mean, you saw like 2 years ago at this point.
Yeah. But yeah, now more of these jacks. Also, yeah, you cannot really escape the grace notes as well. Like, you have some on the left hand, some on the right hand.
Oh, actually getting even denser with the handed fire scores.
Yeah, like you're like in a way, you can't really escape these patterns, regardless whether you use mirror or not. Though I'm pretty sure like some of the players might still consider using it should they find themselves mind blocked in a way.
Yeah, we unfortunately don't have a big man, strong man in the background there. We just got some simple ones there.
I guess this is the bar where the guy from the Strong 280 background goes to.
Yeah, they're gonna have a bar fight.
Yeah. All right, moving on.
Yeah, moving on. We got an original that is coming from our neighborhood, more or less. Clover by Commissar from the Rookie 2023 before. Tech pick here. When you say tech, for a star rating like this, it's actually gonna be chaotic as it seems. But this is also very long for a tech pick.
Yeah, one of our longer tech picks ever since the start of the tournament, just clocking over 3 minutes. And I think this is actually one of the longer picks in this pool as well. I kind of forgot the drain times, but it should be around that figure. Compared to what we had from the last round, this is going to be leaning more towards into staggered patterning. Like you're going to see a lot more of these pretty funny patterns, like emphasized double stairs, like some of these gallopy style brackets.
Oh
Like
yeah.
just stuff that are not the easiest to hack.
Yeah, even some of them even forces some sort of bracket mini jack, and even some of those graces that are just like akin to like when I saw like Toki made of Light Ginger from like the 10 Dan course or whatever.
Oh yeah. I kind of wish I was at that level. Also, that part, that was actually pretty fun. That was pretty fun. You're getting a like there are some sections here that like just give you a respite from the madness. Like some more straightforward sections, and then immediately you're thrown into the deep end. Like you're being asked to hit these super fast patterns. Some ladders, some stairs as well. Like some pretty awkward transitions. This chart asks you a lot of things. Whether you are able to hit all of these.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that you will notice about the song in itself is like, by itself it has like 3 sections that are kind of repeating, so it's kind of looped in a way, but the patterns are at least more variety for what it is. Sometimes you introduce polyrhythmic, sometimes you introduce brackets, sometimes you even introduce just some wacky patterns right down at the gate. It's just everything just throws at you at full force. Something like that is just like so disgusting.
Yeah, and I just can't imagine like the amount of physicality you even need to get accuracy out of this chart. I mean, like here, at least for the Mappool team, like as I mentioned, like, we have like a lot of good players in the Mappool selection team, and we're already seeing some of them already drop into like the 96-97% accuracies. Just a testament really to the difficulty of these pools.
Yeah, sometimes now even introduces trills, but now we're getting into more of a weird, I guess weirder core jack section, but now
Yeah,
double
and
stairs
now this
doesn't throw
section.
like that. They throw like
Yeah.
a truck.
Yeah, just a symmetric stair section right there. Definitely a place the players should watch out for. And even this outro section could be a place to trip up if you're not careful.
Yeah, something.
Yeah, there you
the
go.
flips.
That's what I meant.
Yeah, more variety for
Yeah.
patterns like that. I guess when you say that, I guess the replayer, I think this my evening as well. We'll also play this, so
Yeah.
these kinds of patterns are just disgusting to look at now.
All right. Now, if you thought the technical pick is a bit crazy, let's go to our mixed rice pick, which is our rice 6. And we have Cutter here, HR by Critical Star, and Kobe. And I'd say for this chart, basically you're going to be dealing with a lot of bursts. And you're already seeing some of them here.
Yeah, a little bit of a nod to Forky 2022, I think it was, for I guess the particular song being used. But nevertheless, being this is a mixed rice, you don't really have to, nail some of those patterns that are just very staggered in a way.
Yeah, I mean, like these patterns, like it's mostly going to be pretty straightforward. Like unlike what we had from the previous pick, like here you're not introduced to more awkward stuff. Like here, it's relatively comfortable for the players. Shouldn't be too bad at least, but again, like lots of sections where you can trip up that burst right there. Like the mini jacks in that transition is actually pretty tricky to hit. Like every burst section here has something where it's pretty easy to just drop your accuracy on, or maybe even a combo. You see that slam right there as well. Yeah, that's everything.
It's a fake 7-note chord, and it's just you play them as you would normally play it if it's a 7-note chord. But except this time, it's just all hell goes loose with the patterns and the speed requirement.
And now we're digging into this break section. Like you're still being asked to hit grace notes as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like just a lot of grace notes, really.
Yeah, this is pretty simplistic. I mean, pretty simplistic is probably not the right word for it, but it's just the simpler patterns after everything else you've gone through this chart. But you get into a more core stream that is just almost akin to like the more speedier things, you know? These kind of patterns are very abrasive.
Yeah, like as we've seen, like we see some column sections, and then suddenly like it's just going to be built up to something that triple players. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
definitely could see some act drops there in the end for those not careful.
Yeah. Well, as I said that we do have one extra rice pick there. And if you thought like mixed rice pick isn't enough, we wait until you get the longer mixed rice here. Chimi Morio by Lar, charted by Liju. Quite long.
And yeah, like now we have, I think, our first 4 minute plus pick of this World Cup.
All
Somebody
right.
somebody could correct me on that. But yeah,
It,
is
It is 4 minutes. Essentially a tiebreaker, if you want to call it, but no LNs. Just, I mean, there's one, but again, longer rice picks tend to be kind of ignored most of the time. But hopefully this does not, because it's pretty simpler than what it is.
yeah. Here's the thing about the new category here, or long mixed rice pick. It's going to be higher in BPM, but I mean, I kind of want to say that this chart would contradict what I'm about to say, but I kind of want to say that these longer picks are going to be relatively more comfortable to play. The chart doesn't look like it though.
Yeah, the patterns even does keep changing for every measure or so. So it would be really, really bad if you transition this very wrongly.
Yeah, and actually, part of the notes we were given for the showcase is that this is arguably the hardest of the rice picks in the pool as well, and you kind of see like some of that in there as well. Like, these transitions are brutal, like a full-on speed section now.
Yeah, this is just all patterns just being thrown at you, and even some introduce some of the harder, abrasive, rigid patterns there.
And we're only just like a third of the chart into this. And there's a lot of notes that we're going to see. And now here we enter our main section, like a chords theme, but with a lot of these super technical bursts, like lots of one-hand trilling, actually a split trilling. I mean,
Yeah.
like,
Hey.
oh man.
And guess what? This is the first half of it. You still have another half.
Yeah, just putting keyboards. This is keyboard torture.
I just cannot understand how this is even like 7.5 star. That you just throw everything at you with just full force. And even with this kind of pattern, it's not even the simpler type of core shape, but now you're being thrown at you with more of these stuff now.
All right.
Oh god,
What
what
a-
the-
yeah, I just remembered this section. All right. You're having basically one-hand bias pattern, but each pattern is very hard on one hand. The other is like you're playing like a single stream on your left hand, and you're playing like grace notes on your right hand, and then it switches up to the other, and then the other, like every measure or so. Like that.
It's
that.
yeah.
That
It's
section
like
is what.
something. It's like something got messed up in the LR2 chart, but it got left there because of the key sound.
I feel like that was a like if an O2 Jam charter made a rice chart. Because like I think that's like you kind of have to read it vertically in a way, like split it between the two hands. Now into more of this super bracket heavy section.
I guess more in the lieu of a chord stream, but not really almost.
Yeah, like 200 BPM chord stream is just wow.
Yeah, even some stuff like quite blatant split trilling on even the bracket side is just I think it's probably way too much to handle right now. I'm pretty sure this would absolutely get ignored now when I look at it.
Yeah, if you're like if this does not get banned, this is definitely going to be like that one pick that might as well be played before the tiebreaker or something like that if you're bidding for that. But I know that there are certain teams left in the tournament that would prefer to play the harder stuff at the very beginning of the match and just get it out of the way. But that really depends on the strategy here. All right, now let's move
Yeah,
on
that
to
depends on
our
the strategy you're picking for here. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's move on now to our to the LN side of the spool. We have the Sea of Memory, which will be our LN release pick, building off what we saw from the last page. And like, just look at the BPM, like 174 BPM releases, more of these staccato LN emphasis, and yeah, that section as well. Like, there's some mini inverts. The variety in this chart is actually pretty good. Oh yeah. Also in the notes, if you're using a certain kind of skin, that might actually be more punishing. Um, like, I think it's something that we might like, something that the Mapple selectors might warn the players of, and basically, what the main difference really from the last page here is the like just how straightforward it is. Like, it's not really divided into sections. It's more like it just continues to build up from one section to the other. You're and then you're just given like the same pattern to work on until the very end. But
Oh
now
yeah,
as you yeah.
this one, yeah. There's also some reversion that are very tight itself. And I would also fail to mention that about I guess this kind of pattern, you cannot really use some kind of skin that you would just absolutely would play them as like you would play like a normal rice, because it would absolutely be torturous to even read this in particular.
Yeah, and I think it's really easy to note that if you're using a certain kind of skin, like, you might be reading this as mini jacks. Like yeah, sure, it is OD5, but the patterns here are so hard to get accuracy out of as is that using a skin that technically debuffs your accuracy might be just a penalty that most of the players might not want to accept. But that's really the nature of these World Cups. Like, you're being demanded to play at your very best, and that means that you may have to make an effort to actually adjust your playstyle as well for these pools.
Yeah, I think most people are not realizing that even with like lower ODs like this, a potential of even misread or mishitting in general is also skyrocketing. So even though you're not hitting certain columns, but you're actually gonna get penalized for having very early hits. So it might count as a miss, actually.
Yeah, and that pattern in the end as well. Like, while it's only like what the odd numbered columns that you're hitting, those are not easy to hit, especially with hit and release. Especially like you get certain notes in between your, like, if you're using a keyboard, like you're holding on with your index and ring finger, and then suddenly, like, you're dealing with something with the middle finger to your thumb, and then it's so easy to trip up on those.
Yeah, but again, this is our Allen release. We're getting some more Allen coordination, so we're gonna welcome Zenobia for this particular map. Now we have this High Genjutsu Tohi OD5 as well. This is but L coordination, but as it says here.
And man, like, this short, I say, is like one of my favorites in this pool, just because of how fun it is to play. Like, every single pattern here actually flows very well, and that's really the nature of these more late game coordination picks. Like, in a way, I guess it kind of transitions as well into like the more quote unquote O2 jam pick. Like,
Oh yeah.
albeit like this is more leaning more towards into these heavy chord hits. So these stream sections, basically asymmetric seems like you're doing one half LNs or one fourth LNs
Oh
while
yeah.
holding like a singular LN.
Oh wow.
And then
Okay.
these
Yeah.
chords as well. These scores are so punishing.
Yeah. This is just faster but more pronounced O2 jam patterns. If you thought that it was an O2 jam enough. And most of these shorter LMs that are just you can play it as if you would play a full inverse, but again, hand bias patterns like these.
Also, yeah, just a reverse shield on the mini jack, and now we're going to the quintessential O2 jam pattern, like these reverse
Oh
shield
my god.
transitions. Yeah, we're not joking with the other coordination pick.
Yeah, patterns are don't even let them in the slightest. Sometimes even force a triple shield almost like 3-note jack, and then it eventually becomes a shield at post. Pure O2 jam experience for it right there.
Also, yeah, this inverts with a reverse shield, like inserted in between. Very evil
Oh wow.
pattern. But if you're like a player who's already around at this level, this is going to be so rewarding to play. Also, yeah, it's
Oh
just
yeah.
given an Ellen dub as well in the end.
Like
Fun.
Ellen Duff for no reason. Yeah, for some reason you've been given a break of, before like the 20% of the song, but at the same time, I most likely will believe that this would probably the point of contention on whether if you're using this skin that would contribute a
No,
lot on the
I
shorter
don't
LN.
I don't think that would even help at all. Like reading this in general, like even with a regular skin, is hard in itself.
Yeah, very nice score actually by Kelly Clay there
Yeah,
for showcasing on how hard,
like
deceptively hard at that.
man, that is a ridiculous score right there.
Yeah,
Now
yeah.
let's move on to our Ellen density pick. We have Fluctuator Chart by Kobe here, and I tell you guys, like when I saw this off test playing, like the players are in for a treat here. What we have for Ghost is just a prelude to what we're going to be seeing here in the patterning here. Like, we also see some callbacks as well to what we saw from Higeti Toy, the previous pick, but now getting into more of these very fast, chord stream-ish kind of LN.
Yeah, this is, I guess, what most people would call a core stream, but it's just glorified LNs. I think the description might be correct, except maybe the patterns by itself are very, very straightforward.
Yeah, but I mean, it's already starting to lean more towards again the O2 Jam Noodle style. So if you're like going to treat this as a chord stream chart, you have to be super careful as well.
Yeah, sometimes even forces some of those patterns that are kind of shield based. But at the same time, you just have to know and take some cues of whether or not it is possible to do some of the skin adjustments to be able to read these in general.
Also, yeah, just a casual full LN section right there. I mean, I don't think like the showcase actually gives it enough justice. Like, it doesn't look like an inverse, but it practically is.
Yeah, this is literally just almost full end inverse, just almost, at even gaps in between.
Oh yeah, here we go. Full LN.
Literally just full LN. Playing core string, but you would just hold normally.
And these longer LNs as well, very like if you're not so experienced, like this is like super hard to hit. Also, what is this transition?
Yeah. Yeah, some of those transitions are just wild in itself. You would take into account O2 Jam gaps have kind of the same vibe to it, but I guess that would be our LN density here. We're moving on to more LNs again. This is a mixed one as well. Inori Yame to Yume. Ayame there. Danger. That's what I can say about this pick.
Oh man, I'm kind of speechless about this chart in general. I kind of like when I saw this, I just remember like how do you even explain this chart? Yeah, sure, the beginning is pretty straightforward. Some callbacks to the earlier, like some picks from the earlier rounds, especially the patterning here. Still very simple. Like unless you're not careful, I think we should at least be able to see the players get through the section just fine. But then you're already seeing some of these patterns start to become a bit more tricky, especially with the percussion hits coming in. More of these mini invert sections actually with certain columns here.
Yeah, one thing you might notice right away is that like the LN itself has some. All of them have different LN release timings, so you kind of have to know and probably approximate to whether or not you would hit them in some of those transitions as well. It would be really nasty to hit in general. Even though this is slow, I guess maybe it could help with OD6 or something like this.
I mean, OD6 makes it a bit more punishing actually. Like, yeah, you're already seeing those wub 8-bit patterns. Actually, no, not 8-bit, 16-bit patterns.
Yeah, give an accurate description of what this is. It's just you have to know whether or not where you have to hit them.
I can actually kind of hope that I got that right. If those are 16-bit patterns, O2 Jam charters, please correct me. Yeah, now more of these straightforward-ish kind of patterning, relatively speaking. Like the patterns are pretty hard. Like you're basically given stairs that are a bit more irregular, really. Like
Oh wow,
asymmetric.
okay, yeah.
Now here is, I think this might be the most hand-friendly section actually.
I guess it might be hand friendly, but at the same time, it has some all different release timings that you would not normally try to maybe approximate it at some point. And even some of these kind of ending as well, the course game itself it's kind of unconventional to have those different release timings like this.
Yeah, like I think if you're one of these teams, this might be again one of those maybe we'll pick this later kind of chart. Unless like we see either LM or LM2 banned, we might not yet be seeing this pretty early. But again, that really depends on how the teams will be strategizing going into the matches.
Yeah,
Right, we still have one more LM pick.
one more Ellen pick it is, and yeah, more than a hero apparently. I guess only one Anahira in this entire tournament.
A
Animal
7K
Land.
World. Yeah, a 7K
7K
World Cup. 7K World Cup is not complete without Nanahira.
Yeah, long as well. Almost 4 minutes.
It actually just happens to be one of my favorite Nanahira songs as well. Shout out to Maple Syrup, good music choice right there.
I would wholeheartedly disagree, but you do you. But okay.
I mean, I'm a bit more a fan of Nanahira's non-Denpa style songs. This is like one of the more, I'd say, tamer Denpa sounds. Anyways, about the chart. Well, here you see, like in the first part of the year, like lots of longer holds. Like the relative density here is a bit, I'd say, just a bit more comfortable on the hands.
I guess the most approach of it is like it's pretty simplistic in nature. I guess the patterns itself are just pretty straightforward with consistent snaps. It's just long, and some of them even harsher transitions in between, like those.
I mean, yeah, those patterns are actually pretty difficult if you're not paying attention to which column to actually hold. But if you're able to decode this, it's actually pretty fun to hit. Like stuff like this is the one that the players should actually take note of.
Yeah, some kind of patterns. I would just normally realize that even some of these different sections with different timings like this, maybe something else has to come up.
Honestly speaking, this might actually be one of the safest possible Olympics in the pool.
What an irony.
Yeah. I tell you, this is actually one of the safer picks. I mean, you saw already what we had for LN1, you saw already what we had for LN2.
Yeah,
Like,
but I would normally not call it like the safest per se. It's just whether or not they can score higher, and it will be a chicken game of sorts for the remaining 6 teams.
Yeah, that's fair. Also, yeah, that mini core team section, the LNs there are not connected, so you'll have to release a bit earlier than usual. Yeah, just adding some elements of pretty high level LN release here as well.
What I can see here is just like it's almost like glorified longer multi-nightland or some sort of those kind of patterns.
Actually, that is a good way to put it. Especially for that section. For those not familiar with the mania scene, Motai Nightland is a chart by Cup, one of the most famous LN charts that have been uploaded for Oceania. I think it was the original O2 Jam chart in the first place. But again, this chart is way denser than that one. Now we're getting to see some increase in difficulty as well.
Now it's actually turning into like shorter LNs on the rise as well.
Yeah, like, there's a reason why this is an OD 5.5, and that's basically and it's really for the good of the players as well.
Yeah, adding fuel to the fire, it is already even long. Well, for a long pick like this is all mental will go through the roof right now. Yeah,
And
hopefully
Mhm.
hopefully that's the the last that we've seen of this kind of song, because this is really really hard to comprehend about this patterns in general.
Well, there's still one more round. Who knows?
Yeah,
Anyways,
hybrid.
yeah, let's open the hybrid pool with Overdrive Power 8 start by No Name, Lee Ju, and Underjoy. And honestly, for this pick, like a bit more, I'd say just a break from the long notes that we see. Like we're finally seeing some rice patterns on stream again.
Finally.
Finally, like not much noodles, but again, this is hybrids. There you go. Here come the noodles.
Here comes a more of a generic side of OVP, but what we've seen from like last week. But this is just by nature, these patterns are fine. But wait until you get to the Shealer, when it actually got thrown you off balance.
But I guess like in a way, like, you still can kind of play it like a chord stream, like just like, I guess quote unquote manipulate your way through the LNs. Actually, this might be a favored pick in the hybrid pool. Like just because of how straightforward it is in that manner.
Oh yeah, some of those trails as well might actually be problematic for some. When you turn them into like a mini jack some sort. Some disgusting transitions.
Yeah.
Oh wow, actually mini jacks.
You're going to hear the word disgusting many times from next weekend on until the end of the World Cup, I think.
Yeah, just put on the board for the word count.
Yeah, how many times are we going to say disgusting until the end of Grand Finals weekend? Have fun counting that. But yeah, that transition is actually pretty fun, so to speak. The fun to watch, I guess. I don't think it's going to be fun to play.
And now it just turns into semi inverse almost.
Man, those holds with staccato elements in between them, like adjacent columns are, man, those are not fun.
Yeah, no surprises there when you see generic hybrid like that. So yeah, moving on. Hybrid 2 should be okay. Should be fine, right? Because it's called a technical hybrid pick.
Yeah, like
And
we've seen a lot of crazy stuff in the technical hybrid.
yeah, we'll see. Let's just go with it, and hopefully this not surprises. Nope, it is an original.
Yeah, I'm just casually dropping that.
When you open your eyes, we'll guide you to the light, so far beyond the sky tonight. When you begin to fly, so far up in the sky, the truth will start to cry tonight. We'll fly.
We wish as good or as good as No Name here, but yeah, more original by Akiri. So massive thank you for Akiri for fantastic creation as well. And we're officially welcoming Akiri as a featured artist for Osu. So welcome, enjoy your stay, and hopefully we can see some of your fantastic creations for this entire tournament and for Osu in general.
Also, just a massive shout out to one of our dearest friends in the 7K community, Inabayap. Like, I remember hearing this guy's vocals at some point, like a few years ago, like so long ago now. And then I just remember like seeing him, like, wait, Inabayap is active again? Oh, that's cool. And then like, we remember just chatting and then, all right, this guy is apparently keeping a surprise for us as well. Again, like
Yeah,
like
never.
what a way to show, what a way to come back.
Yeah,
Um,
never in my mind would pass that Inamaya actually does something that most of us actually would probably get our minds blown, kind of.
Yeah, I just know that Inabea has the vocals, like has the voice for singing. Obviously, I just got surprised, like man. Also,
Yeah.
just a note, again, Akiri is actually a pretty active mania player as well. Inabayap placed got in the top 3 of MWC 7K I think a few years ago as well. The last, I think it was like sometime around the sometime before 2019 if I am not mistaken. Like I'm kind of forgetting my mania history now. But yeah, about the chart. Well, you saw it. It's a very tactical hybrid chart. Lots of pretty fun patterns. Also,
Yeah,
yeah, shout outs to ET Blocko.
yeah, shout out to Blocko for actually being able to make some sort of monstrous chart for everyone from start to finish. Actually, we've seen quite a lot of like sweeps, and even though some irregular timings on the releases as well. So that's some very cool stuff here to be able to be played by the 6 teams remaining in the tournament as well. But yeah, that's
Yeah.
our hybrid 2 here. So I'm wondering if that some stuff is also does also apply for the next hybrid as well. I believe this is
Yeah.
also a wildcard hybrid,
Yeah.
so we'll see how this goes. Actually,
Oh, yeah.
no, another one.
Yeah, we just casually dropped this one as well. And that is our wildcard hybrid pick, Technoplanet's Vomit, a chart by actually Wonky. And man,
Man, somebody just
Yeah.
vomited a lot of notes in the editor to be able to make something like this.
actually, like while we were while we were muted on stream, like we were looking at if the Mapple selector is going to make a pun of the title of the song, because we were kind of unsure if we're going to do like somebody vomited notes on the editor kind of joke. Like we might have felt that it might be a bit too off, so to speak. But
Yeah, we
I mean,
might as well do it. We might as well do it.
yeah, we might as well. It came from the selectors themselves, so thanks for the go signal.
Yeah, thanks for Actually, yeah, Technoplanet. It's been quite a while. We've seen quite a featured song for this. I guess for the entire OS actually. Now this been making a return for the 70 World Cup 2024. So massive thank you as well for Technoplanet for being able to make it original for this Finals Mappool.
And man, like again, shoutouts to the artists who have been dishing out these so originals as well in the pools. But again, we're not yet done with this Mapple Showcase. Like we still have one more chart to show, and I'll let you be the one to introduce it.
Yeah, tiebreaker, fair warning. So, the thing about the tiebreaker is that it's probably the first time I've ever seen that such style from like the 4 key being translated to 7 key is, well, kind of been off-putting, but I would say this works very well for the purpose of being a tiebreaker. So, we're gonna introduce a tiebreaker for the Finals Mappool Showcase, and it's going to be something else. It's called Jizu by, this is a live performance. I might as well add. It's everything else you've seen from this chart has irregular snaps everywhere almost.
I mean, I pray to the person who would want to decode the timing points in this chart. Again, like that's the thing with these live performed music, like they're extremely crazy. Like just to be able to time them perfectly.
Oh hell yeah, we got a video as well.
Man, like we're going to keep quiet for a bit because we kind of want to enjoy the music as well, actually.
We kind of casually just saw it, and maybe just watch the video, just how this music performed.
Yeah, like again, like most of these tiebreakers really, like we're seeing a few more of these, I'd say, more integrated charting. Now we're going into this more section-based charting as what Evening did, which is actually pretty and you could see the distinct sections as well from the way this is charted.
Some of these odd, I guess the patterns by itself in nature, BPM changes, so everything you perceive to be consistent, just throw it out of the way. You will never get an accurate precision on everything else.
Actually, this kind of reminds me of a certain Evening chart, which is far easier than this. I think it's Paradiso. Like the way this is charted really reminds me of that one.
Yeah, also we forget to fail to mention about those just back and forth snake patterns, and then do something like this is hysteric. It's like Angel Falls, but you just like play them as like.
Yeah, like I can visualize like how to hit the pattern, but the pace it's at is so tricky to look at. Like more of these super technical patterns as well in that section, like just following the percussion.
Yeah, being 6.5 minutes does some justice, except maybe the patterns we haven't seen quite a lot of it, crazy ones just yet. Maybe we'll see them throughout later on. Oh yeah, those coordinated Helens there.
Man, actually now that I just noticed the music as well. Like, I only gave the chart a scan as well, like before the before the showcase, and I just noticed like this is jazz fusion, and Japanese jazz fusion is actually very fun to listen to. Like this style of music you usually see as well. If you're more of a video game nerd, like you'd see it on stuff like Mario Kart, jazz fusion, like the
Oh, yeah.
likes of T Square, like
Yeah.
some other like I, the bands are are right at the tip of my tongue.
Yeah, I think it's more akin to like Japanese Soul Brothers, but which I guess the orchestra might have just made more sense. Except this is just live performance, but you see
Oh yeah, this is
patterns.
Kojak. The
the patterns
Kojaks.
like these, it keeps speeding up like you would normally say in a live performance.
Yeah, the Kojaks here are going to be super excruciating. Like being able to keep time here. Not to mention the chord. Oh man, the spacebar holds. All
Yeah.
right,
Repetition.
they're irregular as well. Like you.
God,
Man.
it's actually
I'm
now
speechless.
6-note chords. Now 7.
Like the snare drum hits actually. If I guess if you're following those in a way, like you'll be able to see like where the big chords are.
And now, actually, with all those notes at 2, 4, 6 columns, everything else is a column. It's going wild there. Yeah, like those.
Man, this chart is beautiful. Like I mentioned this so many times like off just off into like some of my personal friend circles like at least Mania, but something I just wanted to say really on stream is that Evening really has a way to make these aesthetically pleasing charts.
And yet, for some reason, it
Yeah.
works because the playability comes into mind, and this definitely looks a lot more
Wait, what
playable.
was that mini jack to a 7-note chord? Oh man.
Oh god, okay, yeah. Alright, we're coming into the last quarter here, and you know, some stuff happens where it just throws everything at you almost.
Now, more of these Ellen patterns like relatively more comfortable at least, like from what we saw. But again, basically with how this thing has started, we're going to see that same pattern just going to be increase in difficulty with this practically the same patterning theory.
Yeah, now actually with regular rice notes like that, you notice that the off snaps if you add the rice there, and something like this is actually even deceptively tricky.
Yeah, like these symmetric patterns.
Like these, the
oh, man.
snaps. Yep.
That's funny. That's so beautiful.
And yeah, you get there. It's all thanks to those people that are making this tiebreaker possible and looking even the jacks by itself. And watch out
Yeah.
there, the measure lines.
This section, by the way, yeah, it basically mimics like the end of a jazz band show.
What an art!
And that ends our Finals Mappool Showcase. What a beautiful chart here by Evening and all the people who helped make this chart an absolute beauty.
Yeah, all those things made it very, very possible to be able to make a fully fledged tiebreaker for the Finals Mappool Showcase there. Especially for the 6 teams remaining. They're gonna have a fun time, especially with the expanded map pool. 1 extra Rise and 1 extra LN. And for the tiebreaker to be able to boot, it's going to be interesting to how this would play out for the remaining 6 teams.
Man, one thing I actually have to say is that again, massive shout outs to the people in the Mappool selection team for delivering on these very beautiful pools. And again, to the players remaining in the tournament, only 6 teams remain. Good luck, and I hope you guys actually have fun with these pools as well.
Yeah.
The Mappool selection team will be appreciating that very well.
Yeah. However, although even though this is like a finals map pool, we're not done yet because we still have like one more weekend, or
one
probably
more.
2 more weeks actually, because there's still grand finals on the horizon, which we're actually thinning out the herd here with 6 teams becoming like a 3 team for the next weekend. So essentially, they're gonna have to struggle a little bit more on the finals first before we can actually tackle through the harder map pool on the grand finals.
Yeah, and that's really the nature of tournaments like these. Like we gotta, we gotta up the ante for the players to, like show their skills out there in the world. Anyways, one last thing before we close this thing out. Just a reminder: the Osmania 7K World Cup 2024 team support banners are up on the Osu store. Again, you can buy all 24 if your finances permit it. If you guys want to support any team, like even the teams that have been eliminated from the tournament, you can still do so. And if you just so happen to buy the banner of the winning team of this tournament, that banner will stick on your profile just a tad bit longer.
Yeah, most of the proceedings of the banner itself will also be helping funding the map pool prize as well, and it's going to be really really cool to see them for the top 3 teams that are able to get that prize as well. So yeah, this has been pretty much for the Finals Mappool Showcase and for the end of this week as well. I'm Mifa, and this is also Search285. We will be signing off for day.
I haven't been all that you could have hoped for, but if you'd held on a little longer, you'd have had more reasons to be proud. So many questions, but I